to DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty, where on this channel, our vision is to empower the impoverished by helping you find financial freedom through crypto assets. Please subscribe and leave a comment and a thumbs up. Hey guys, welcome back to DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for poverty. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about market cap and how that relates to the drip ecosystem and potential for it to reverse from where it's at. So I know a lot of you are new to crypto, reference the polls that I put out. So for those of you that don't know, market cap is basically the, let's just get the exact definition so you can actually understand it straight from CoinMarketCap. So market capitalization is a simple, straightforward way of finding out how big a digital currency is. And the way you figure that out is taking, where is their exact quote? Taking their circulating supply, here we go. All you need to do is multiply a coin's current price by the total number in circulation. So it's the circulating supply multiplied by the current price. That's a straight, simple, forward way to basically see how big a cryptocurrency is. So usually when you coin the coin market cap, one of the main things they put here is the market cap of the token or coin, and that is just taking its circulating supply multiplied by this price currently. So some of the cryptos you'll be able to see their circulating supply, like when you click on it, it'll have details on it, but some, like in the drip ecosystem that we're going to review, are not being reported by CoinMarketCap, so it's hard to get that information. But when you come in here, you'll see circulating supply. And everybody knows circulating supply of Bitcoin because of the contract and all that stuff and what's currently going around. But on some of these that we're going to look at, you may not have the circulating supply available because it's not reported directly to CoinMarketCap due to the way the contracts are written. So the best thing you can do is actually go into BSC scan and get the total supply. Now, total supply is different than circulating because the total supply is just how many tokens are currently available, and circulating is going to be the ones that can actually be available to be bought and sold or traded. So in the case of some of our tokens, they are locked into contracts, so they aren't available to be sold or traded. But it still gives you a good idea. So what I've done already, so you don't have to go see me go through all this, but I went and looked at all of the tokens that Forex has created and put them in a spreadsheet. So let's pull that up so you can have an easier way to see this. So total supply. We have for REAP, BREAP, DRIP, the new Animal Farm Pigs token, and the Dogs token. Now granted, these will change whenever the full farm comes online, but it's just a good kind of dive to see how things actually operate for right now. So one thing you'll note is that Forex is really big on creating a lower total supply. With REAP and BREAP, he had like, I don't know where he gets these numbers from. He runs a lot of analysis and calculations. So 84,000 made a lot of sense to him when he made these two, and this was during the time when a lot of contracts were putting out trillions and quadrillions, and having more tokens was better. So arguably, I think he saw into the long vision of where he wanted this to go. The total number doesn't affect the market cap and or affect how easy it will be to increase that market cap, but what it does is it can create kind of FOMO. So you have a double-edged sword here. So let me I'll show you another crypto where that you guys are all familiar with. Do I have it listed here? I do not. So let's go here. So when you have a lot of tokens available, then people can see the price as being super cheap, and then they're like, okay, cool, I can get a lot of this token. Because Shiba had a 1 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. And then they cut it in half when they gave half to Vitalik Buterin. But so you have a double-edged sword is what I'm getting at. So some people will see the price and think, okay, I can get a lot of these tokens, and therefore when it goes to $1, I'll make a lot of money. But what the real issue is that the market cap is the number one driving force. So it doesn't matter if this was 800,000 or 80,000 or 8 million. the market cap will still dictate how easy or hard it will be to get that token to double, triple, quadruple, whatever the case may be. But here's the other side of that coin I was talking about, or the double-edged sword. When you have a low supply, then basic supply demand economics take place. So when you have a low supply like this and you can control more of it, especially if these are in pools, then you're getting a larger percentage of that pool, such as an LP pool, where you're able to get a percentage back based on the buy and sells. So REAP and BREAP are reflectionary tokens, meaning the transaction volume that happens on the token gets paid back to the holders of the token, and based on how much you own, then you get more of that transaction volume. So having a lower supply on these is better if it was a much more volatile asset and doing a lot of buy and sells. It does a decent amount of buy and sells, but it's not like a rapidly traded crypto, because this is within our niche, really. Anyone outside of this is probably not buying and holding it. But the same thing can be applied to DRIP. So again, he created a $1 million cap on the contract that would mint if the tax vault basically got depleted, and that has happened since June 5th or 3rd, I believe. So now we've minted 175,000 tokens since then. But again, the market cap is about $9 million. And then pigs and dogs, 23 and 60 million. So the whole point of this video, I guess you could say, is if you're sitting on the sidelines, you're wondering if you should get in, or if you're speculating on DRIP, you have to ask yourself, can this market cap double, triple, quadruple, or whatever the case may be? So that's why I went ahead here and pulled in the previous all-time highs. So with the all-time highs, this is where we were at, and this is what that market cap was before. So you had 20 million for REAP, 24 million for BREAP, 200 million almost for DRIP, 31 million. This is kind of incorrect because this just launched, so it's not the most up-to-date, and this won't be valid anymore because it's the old dog's token. But you can see where we were. This was a 2.8x, 3x, 20x, 1.9 from where we were. So you have to ask yourself, does this have the potential to go back here, 20x from here, specifically talking about DRIP, or is it done? So now that you understand what it takes to have this token appreciate in value, so a 2x from here would basically mean we have to get another $9 million in liquidity. A 10x would mean we have to get another $82 million in liquidity added to the token. So that sounds like a lot, and it is, especially if you don't have that kind of money. But when we zoom out and take a look at what that did and how that happened, we got up to that when we were announcing the Manor Farm and the Animal Farm. That was this big push. And arguably, we were still kind of in the macro bull market, even though Bitcoin started dropping around here and the Fed announced its rate hikes here. So it's when people started selling the larger assets. We didn't see the trickle down effect until later. So point being, it took it this massive run up as everything else was still kind of selling off and trickling down. And then these are the users, by the way, in case you didn't notice, I didn't mention that. But the point I'm getting at is you have to ask yourself, can it appreciate to where it was or somewhere in between, because we don't need to go all the way back up, with this many new people involved since then. So all these people joined, and now we also have the Animal Farm launched here, and the Piggy Bank launched here, then it paused, and then now we have the Piggy Bank online here, and we're waiting for the full farm to go online, and also the other use cases that he's mentioned in his latest AMAs for the farm as well as DRIP. So the roulette game, the pig pen game, the vaults, the scratchies, the DRIP UI, the new dev he added, dev streak, the tax vault updates that he's made for the full ecosystem. So when you're looking at this and looking at this price and going, I don't want to buy here, hopefully now you'll understand a little bit more about market cap and what it's capable of, or what it takes to multiply your current price that you're at and start seeing price appreciation, and then asking yourself, can this go up from here with Forex's new contracts, new utility, bigger team, the CMO, all that stuff. And I think objectively, we can all say yes. So that's not that far-fetched to see these all-time highs. No, we're not going to get there immediately, by no means. But with what he planned on having in his announcement of having basically every couple of weeks after the farm fully goes online, having new utility being added, then we'll basically be able to see, like, month after month, new eyeballs, new marketing, new people coming in to get into the ecosystem. And it's not going to be as dependent on new capital because there's going to be utility added and more game theory added. So the scratchies and the Piggy Bank game and the dog roulette game, all these things add game theory on top of the existing game theory that's there and rely less on new capital because you're actually turning into more of a strategy, basically. So the main point, again, of this was understanding how market cap affects the ability for a token or asset to appreciate in value and seeing how realistic it could be from here based on what we have been seeing from previous market caps on other tokens, as well as what each one of these have already done. So this should give you, again, some hopium if you're sitting on the sidelines. We don't know when this will happen. I'm sure we will see more downturn here. I made that statement in my old video that if this doesn't get launched by the 30th, then I don't think it'll go until the middle of July, but I'm not making any dates anymore because nobody knows the mind of Forex. So who knows when this will happen, but the longer it stays unpaused, I believe the harder it will be for it to trade sideways. We're sitting in a nice channel, but I don't think we can hold that without any new utility being added because people are just speculating on the sidelines, and the ones that are causing the sell-offs are basically continuing to sell, and they're, I would imagine, just fed up or quote-unquote taking profits, but they're not really taking profits. Like I've said in other videos, they're just wrecking themselves because when you just looked at all this data I just showed you, you know you have to be realistic and say that these are not the end of days for drip. It's going to go back up, and you have to believe and know by using the data, let data drive your decisions, that it will go back up more aggressively than it did before because there's more utility, more people, better organization within his team, all sorts of stuff that we didn't have back here, and we did this all with just a community and half the community that we have now. So this was around 50,000 people, and now we have 100,000. Plus he's got a project manager, plus he's got a CMO, plus he's got additional devs, plus he's got additional devs doing games and stuff like that for the other tokens in the ecosystem. So like I said, so if this doesn't unpause anytime soon, then we're going to just see this continue to trickle off, and it's been a steady sell-off. But we could definitely see much lower prices, like I mentioned in my other video. So where it will bottom out, I don't know. But these are some of your better prices to get in at, especially if it's below 20, and even if it goes down to 5 or 3 or 4. At least from 20 to 3 or 4 is not nearly as bad as 130, 160. So, and the amount of time you'll have to wait for it to come online is a lot shorter than it was back here. So we are much closer to a launch than we were when the first sell-off started happening. I, again, can't speculate, but I'm quite sure it's less than 30 days from now. I don't see this in August based on his latest announcement. So, all right, guys, that is it for this video. Hope, again, it adds some value, adds some insight, understand market cap. If you're looking to get in drip, jump in and dive in. Don't just dip your toe in because you're going to be beating yourself up when this flips from 8 to 20, like literally overnight, because it can very easily with a couple big buys. So make sure if you're done your research and you're ready to get in, yeah, you can dollar cost average, but you want to build your position now while you can because you may miss this opportunity for sure. All right, guys, until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.